A dossier nailing the culpability of Pakistan in the terror attack in Pulwama will be handed over to FETF, the International Anti-Terror Financing Watchdog. Security agencies are preparing the dossier with the evidence gathered so far related to the attack carried out by Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed. Pakistani agencies' links with the JEM and how the terror group is being aided will be part of the document. Details of the terror attacks carried by the JEM in the past will also be included. In the next meeting of the FETF, India will also press for blacklisting of Pakistan so that action can be taken against the country. Massive protests and candlelight marches were held in different parts of India against the Pulwama terror attack, which claimed the lives of 40 CRPF personnel. Curfew was imposed in Jammu city following violence during demonstrations. Protesters defied curfew to take out rallies, and police had to resort to cane charge at Residency Road, Kachi Chavani and Dogra Hall areas in Jammu. The protesters burned tires and placed barricades on several roads. 5 vehicles were set afire in Kuchar Nagar area, while there were also reports of stone pelting. Just 2 days after the deadly Pulwama attack, a major-rank army officer was killed in an IED blast near the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir's Nowshera sector. The officer is from the Corps of Engineers. The 31-year-old Major Chitresh Singh Bisht was leading a bomb disposal squad. He had successfully defused one of the mines before the blast. The explosive had been planted by intruders from Pakistan about 1.5 kilometers inside the LOC in the Rajouri district. Bisht belongs to the Dehradun and is survived by his parents. He was supposed to get married next month. The Indian Air Force showed off its military might at a demonstration in India's desert city of Pokhran. The firepower demonstration Vayu Shakti is conducted once in 3 years and sees participation of fighter jets, transport helicopters, force enablers and support systems. It showcases indigenously developed platforms like light combat aircraft Tejas, advanced light helicopter and efficacy of the Akash surface-to-air missile and Astra air-to-air missile. The fighter aircraft used were MiG-21, MiG-29, Su-30, Mk-1, Mirage 2000 among the others. The U.S. military airlifted tons of aid to a Colombian town on the Venezuelan border on Saturday as part of an effort meant to undermine socialist President Nicolas Maduro. 2 of 3 scheduled Air Force C-17 cargo planes that took off from Homestead Air Reserve Base in Florida and landed in Cucuta. The border city is swollen by a flood of migrants from Venezuela. Is a collection point for aid that's supposed to be distributed by supporters of Juan Guaido. Violence flared as thousands of Yellow Vest protesters marched in the streets of Paris in a 14th round of demonstrations that have undermined French President Emmanuel Macron's authority. Police and some hooded protesters clashed in central Paris, where the march was expected to end. Police fired tear gas and charged to disperse projectiles throwing demonstrators. Early on Saturday, protesters gathered at the symbolic rallying point at the Arc de Triomphe before marching towards the Eiffel Tower and through other major cities in Paris. Thousands of Albanian opposition supporters clashed with police in an anti-government rally to protest what they say is a corrupt and inefficient cabinet. Supporters of the centre-right Democratic Party-led rally broke police ranks as they tried to enter the headquarters of leftist Socialist Party Prime Minister. They threw flares and other objects and tried to destroy a protective cover at the main door, which was later broken. Police offered little resistance, staying on the side, although they used tear gas and water cannons and spoke through loudspeaker, calling on the protesters to disperse. Catalan politicians joined the thousands of independent supporters protesting in Barcelona against the trial of 12 separatist leaders. Demonstrators flooded central Barcelona, waving pro-independence Estelada flags and chanting in Catalan, "Freedom for political prisoners." Catalan President Quim Torra and Catalan Parliament Speaker Roger Torrent joined the demonstration behind a banner emblazoned with "Self-determination is not a crime." The politically charged trial is expected to last at least 3 months. Zimbabwean rescuers pulled the bodies of at least 22 illegal gold miners out of shafts west of Harare that were flooded earlier in the week. 8 more were rescued alive, looking dazed and covered in mud. The miners were taken away by officials past cheering crowds. Anxious relatives and other miners have camped out at the mining site as they wait for the news of their loved ones and colleagues, some expressing frustration at the lack of information they are getting. The chairman of Nigeria's Electoral Commission has said that elections were delayed by a week due to problems in transporting electoral material and was not a result of security or any political influence. He added that some sensitive election material had been distributed, but all had been returned to the central bank and an audit would now be conducted. It was announced in the early hours of Saturday that the vote would now be held on the 23rd of February. A total of 56 people across Greece have died from flu-related complications during the current flu season. A week ago, the death toll stood at 39. Currently, 61 flu patients are under treatment in the ICU in Greece, mostly children and senior citizens. In the latest press statement, Greek experts have reiterated that the significance of vaccination for people belonging to the population segments are at a higher risk of complications. 8 out of 10 of those who lost their lives so far had not been vaccinated, although they had prior health problems. Eight people were killed in a suicide bombing in Maiduguri, a city in northeastern Nigeria, by suspected Islamic militants and militia coordinator of a joint task force. A group of militias fighting Boko Haram has said that 8 were killed, including a joint task force member. The attack comes just as Nigeria's Electoral Commission announced the postponement of the presidential election just hours before polls were due to open. Now, due to the El Nino phenomena, a forest fire broke out in the mountainous area near Bogota, the capital city of Colombia. Helicopters have been dispatched to put out the fire by taking a huge container and pouring water in it down to the area affected by the fire. Most parts of the Latin American country have suffered from the extreme weather conditions since the beginning of the year. Extreme drought has been caused frequent forest fires across the country, and 108 cities and counties have declared emergency for a shortage of water supply. A Lion Air passenger plane skidded off a runway outside the city on the Indonesian island of Borneo during heavy rains. The aircraft was operating a Jakarta-Pontianak service with 182 passengers and 7 crew members on board. The Boeing 737-800 plane skidded off the runway as it was trying to land at Superdeo International Airport, a regional hub airport that services a small number of international flights. Cardiff City manager Neil Warnock arrived at the wake and funeral of striker Emiliano Salas. The 70-year-old signed Salas from French club Nantes last month, but the Argentinian never played a game for the Premier League side as the plane he was travelling on crashed into the English Channel in January. Cardiff's chief executive Ken Shu is also due in Argentina for the funeral. Salas' body was driven earlier Saturday to Progreso in Buenos Aires for a vigil and wake.